Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and in this video I'll be showing you how to make a Pong game. So a Pong game is basically like you have like an object and paddle, and the object has to always bounce off the paddle, just like this one. So as you can see over here, if the paddle doesn't it isn't in the way for the object basically touches the red line and it's lost. So then the game is over and that means you lost the game. So in this video I'll be showing you how to make this game, and it is very simple and easy to make. So let's get started. First of all, we'll need a backdrop. So we're gonna go to choose a backdrop, and I will choose a pattern. So I'll choose the stripe. So now we have a backdrop. And now we need an object to bounce off the paddle. So we're gonna go to choose a sprite, click on that, and we're gonna choose anything we like. So I will scroll down and I will choose a star. So I'll just look for it right there. I will choose a star. So now we have the star. So the first step is we need to make the object move left to right, just like that. So that is easy because when we take out this move 10 steps, you can see it's moving that way. But then when we go to the controls, do it forever, we can see that it's going 10 steps or less and getting stuck at the edge. But what we want is for this object to bounce off each time it touches an edge. So luckily for us, we have this block in the motions category to if on edge bounce. So we're just gonna put it over here, and then now when you click on this, you can see that it's bouncing up every time it touches an edge. So we'll just go to events, you'll get this green flag block, and then when I re-click on it, it's moving. Now what we need is for it to bounce all over the place, not only left to right, but we also want it to bounce all over the place. So for that, we're gonna go to take motions, and then we're gonna take this block called turn 15 degrees, 10 degrees, and then we're going to, instead of 15, we're going to do 180. So now when we click on this, you see, it'll go all over the place. So once we take this block out, we don't need it anymore because it's already has the program in this forever loop. So when we delete it, it's still going everywhere. So this is what we want. So now we see that it's bouncing everywhere, which is good. So we're done with the first step. Now the second step is to make the paddle and make sure that the star bounces off the paddle, just like with the edges. So right now you can see that we have the star right here. Now we need to create a paddle. So we're gonna go to hover over, choose a sprite. We're gonna go to paint, and we're gonna make our own paddle. So we're gonna click on this line, the line, and then we're gonna create a line. So the thickness should be about 35. Let's try 45. Let's try 35, and then we're gonna create a line. This is basically the paddle. So this is a good size, just like this. Give me just like that. We're gonna change the outline color to just be. I'm gonna change the outline color. I'm gonna just do it to green. Now we're gonna create another paddle, and this is gonna be the paddle. So I'm just gonna delete this previous one. So we got our paddle right here. We're gonna put it right there and there. We got ourselves a paddle. Now we need to make sure that the paddle moves left to right following our cursor. So for that we're gonna go to move 10 steps, and you can see that it's moving 10 steps to right. Now if we go to control and get forever loop, you can see that it's going 10 steps and it's going 10 steps left to right. So so now we're gonna delete this. We're gonna go to motions and then find a block to set X 2, and then it should be somewhere over here. So set X 2 right there. But then we're not gonna use any numbers right now. We're gonna go to sensing category and then get this block called mouse. So, so now we're gonna go to the control category and we're gonna get this forever loop that it can always do this forever. So now we're gonna hit paddle. It's not working. It's because we forgot to add the one clicked flag. So we're gonna one green flag click. So when we add that there, you can see that the paddle is moving wherever our cursor is moving, and it's not only moving, and it's not, and plus it's not moving up and down, left and right. It's only moving left and right, just as we want it to. Now we need to make sure that this star it can bounce off the paddle instead of going through it. So you can see it's it's not even it's going through the paddle. So for that to happen, we need to go to star, sister, and we're gonna go to the control category, and we're gonna get this block called if condition. So we're gonna get this if condition block because if the star has contact with the paddle, it should bounce off. So we're gonna go to the sensing category, and we're gonna get this touching. So if star touching right one, which is the paddle, it bounces off. So how do we make it bounce off? Like what do we add in here in the if then right here? So we're gonna go to motion because we know that we have a block called if on edge bounce. But we don't have a block called if on paddle or sprite one bounce. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go and we're gonna take this block called turn 15 degrees. And instead of 15 degrees, we're going to turn 180 degrees. And then once, so we're gonna take this out again. So then once it's in its new location, new direction, it's going to take a bit distance and it's gonna bounce off. So for that, we're gonna go to move 10 steps. And instead of 10 steps, let's just do 15 steps. Now we're gonna test it out and see if it works. So you can see that it doesn't work. It's because we need to add a forever loop. Because if we don't add a forever loop, a sprite only tests one time if it's happening. So we're gonna go to events, no control, and we're gonna say forever loop, and we're gonna put it inside of here. And then let's go to events and add this block called one green flag clicked, just like that. Now, when you click on the green flag, you can see that it bounces off. Perfect. Now, step 2 is done. Step 3. So, step 3 is to make sure that we lose the game, that the game ends when when the object touches the ground. So so now we achieve two goals. One is to make the object bounce off the edges. Second is to make sure that the paddle is moving left to right and is making the object bounce off it. Now is Now we need to achieve the third goal, which is to make sure that we lose when the star touches the ground, because nothing bad happens when the object touches the ground. See? So we're gonna stop. We're gonna go to the sprite, hover over that. We're gonna click on paint again, and then we're going to this time we're gonna make another line. This time instead of 35, we're gonna do 40. And it's not gonna be green color, that's why it's gonna be red. Now when we make the outline, now when we make the line, it's gonna be just like that. And then we're gonna add it at the bottom. Let's just make the line a bit more longer. Um, so we're good. So this is how it's gonna be like. So then when the star touches the ground, that's how we that's how the game ends because it's not supposed to touch the ground. And that's the whole point of the game. So it's like that. So we created a line. Now we're going to code making the star touch the ground. So now we're gonna code if the star touches the ground, all should stop. So we're gonna go to the star, and then we're going to go to control and say if then. We're gonna take this if category, if condition. And now we're going to now we're going to go to sensing and say if the star is touching right 2, which is the limit line. So now so now when it touches it, what should I do? So it's to stop the whole thing. So when we go to events, scroll actually when we go to control, scroll all the way down and see stop all. So we're gonna take that block out and we're gonna put it right there. So if the star is touching sprite 2, then stop all, which means that the whole programming is stopped, like as if the whole game is ended. So now let's test it out. So you can see that it's when it touches the ground. Let's see if it touches the ground. I'm gonna try to avoid it. When it touches the ground, it's not working because it just touched the ground and it's not working. The reason for all this is because it again needs a repeating a forever loop. And then it when green flag clicks. So we're gonna add the forever loop and then the green flag clicked. And then now when it touches the ground, I'm gonna try to avoid it now. It stops the whole game. We can't move our paddle anymore. The star isn't bouncing off anymore. It just stays where it is. And then we gotta click on this again to continue the game.